Okay. In my life? Okay. So, this is going to be about getting over the feeling of the narcissist taking pieces of you when he leaves. This is a real problem for women, and it's not just with narcissistic boyfriends. This is a problem that women have with men in general, and it's not something the men are doing because they can't take parts of you or pieces of you when they go. They can't take pieces of your body or your identity when they leave you or when y'all split. That's impossible. But women are taught so much about all the things that decrease their value and things that shatter them and things that make them come apart and things like that. And we're not taught things that build us up or add to our value or show us what our value really is and what our worth really is. All of that stuff is just kind of like hidden from us. So we're obsessed with finding ourselves again after getting rid of a man out of our life because it feels like so much of us is gone, because we put so much into it and we lose ourselves in this fantasy where we think that we're taught that if we just get the right man in our life, everything else is going to fall into place, and that's bullshit. So, but especially with a narcissistic partner, the problem with them is that because the narcissist, like a real NPD, like, textbook, they do not have identity. They don't have it because in their early life, especially in toddlerhood and in babyhood, their mother could not or did not, whichever, bond with them. And because in your early life, your mother is everything. She's everything. She's everything. And if she can't bond with you or chooses not to bond with you, whatever, that is going to hurt you in a million different ways. And with narcissists, they are hurt by that like anybody else would be, but their way of remedying that hurt is to go real extreme into one direction or the other. So most of the time we're familiar with the overt narcissists, the ones that are like in your face, I'm a blessing to this whole world, I'm God's gift, bow down, whatever. That's the kind of thing that we're used to, right? So those are the ones that you usually see. The covert ones are a little bit weirder. They're harder to pick out sometimes. They seem like they're trying to be humble, and really they're not. I did do a video on the two main different types of narcissists. So if you want to go back and check that out on my channel, you can, on my YouTube channel. And it would be under the playlist Narcissists. So it's probably there. I try to make playlists for y'all so you can like find my stuff more easily. But anyway, so since the narcissist has like no foundation and no identity for himself, because you get your identity from your mother in the very beginning, and the father doesn't come into play like emotionally or mentally for you until you're like 5 years old. Before that he doesn't really, he's not part of the equation, whether he's there or not. So with the mother being the important figure that she is, thank you, for her to screw up something that bad, for her to make such a mistake and such a screw up as to not bond with her infant, that causes huge damage. And I'm not saying this because I'm excusing the narcissist's behavior, because obviously I'm not, like I never would. But what I mean is this is why they're screwed up, is because they have no damn foundation. And when the mother discards them like that or whatever, she is forcing that baby to go in one direction or the other most of the time. And you're going to see people who might go totally inward and block people out because they're afraid nobody else can bond with them, so they're not going to take the risk. And that's loners and people who are always alone and don't have any friends and stuff like that. But in an extreme case, not like what's going on now where all these young people just want to sit at home. It's not that. I'm talking about extreme cases where people like real messed up. And then the other kind that you see is a lot of times, usually is going to be people who, for our narcissists that we're dealing with, right, it's going to be the ones who say, the inner infant, the inner child in them says, well, if my mom's not going to love me, God damn it, I bet the rest of you will. And they go out and like wreak havoc across the face of the earth, getting everybody else to love them or approve of them or get everybody's attention or get everybody's time and attention and effort and acknowledgement. So now you see these narcissists, that the full-blown ones, the overt ones, who go out into the world and their main focus every day when they open their eyes is, I'm going to get attention today, I'm going to get approval today, I'm going to get acknowledgement, I'm going to get somebody hooked on me, damn it, some way, somehow I'm going to do it, and I'm going to get what I want, and to hell with the rest of you. Because they don't care, because in order to protect themselves and their hurt feelings, they're going to not care about the rest of us. And that's when you see people who like that, who just don't care about everybody else, selfish people like that, NPD or not, but it's people who are just like selfish in general like that, always put themselves first and fuck everybody else. Those people are protecting their hurt on the inside, whatever that was, and it's typically from some kind of neglect or something like that. If you look back on their history and see like what their deal is, especially in childhood, if you can get it out of them, get the story out of them, usually there's a story that will explain why they are the way they are. And it's fear of not getting acknowledgement, fear of not getting loved, not getting held, not getting attention, not being made a priority, because the infant was not made a priority, but he should have been. We know that, but she screwed up and now he's crazy. So that being said, since the narcissist has no identity of his own because he wasn't given one and couldn't figure it out, and now he's just obsessed with trying to get attention from everybody, what makes it easy for him to get you hooked or get you reeled in, and get you into his little domain, is to have you thinking that the two of y'all have so much in common. And that's when they do stuff like mirror you, or they learn all kinds of, they'll ask a lot of questions and act like they're real interested in you, and you're just so terribly interesting and you're just amazing, and they can't wait to get to know more about you, and they ask them questions, and then you tell them all this stuff because you're like, oh my god, this guy's really interested in me, this is cool, yeah, we're gonna learn about each other. And everything you say and everything you do and everything you deliver, he's taking a mental note, and he's remembering every move you make, just like that song by the Police. Every move you make, every breath you take. So they remember that shit because they're going to mirror that shit back to you later and have you thinking that the two of y'all are just meant to be. And that's how they have control over you, is to have you thinking that you're not going to find anybody that's got that much in common with you. So you may as well take what you can get. So that was my story, and he was a doozy, and he mirrored me, and I just thought, you know what? Because I never saw him like pursuing things that he claimed he was interested in. Like he didn't dive into it like I do. I'm also an intellectual. I have a shit ton of books, and I do a shit ton of reading and studying and researching. So I'm a little bit unusual anyway, maybe, but I don't think I'm that unusual, to be totally honest with you. But compared to him, I was, and he didn't pursue the stuff that he said he was interested in, that we had in common. I always was. I was always buying books, and I was always doing things and studying and researching and trying stuff and things like that. And he just wasn't really doing it, And I after a while I was like, well, you say you're interested in all this shit, but I don't see you pursuing any of it. So like, what is even that? And so, but after a while, you realize that they are just, they copied a lot of the stuff you did and said in the beginning so they could reel you in and have you thinking that the two of y'all were just made for each other, because they don't have an identity, so they're just going to use yours. So now you think you're stuck with somebody who has so much in common with you, and you're going to have to just deal with the bullshit because you're not going to find anybody else that has this much in common with you, and I don't know what you're going to do, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, so they have you thinking that, which is why when they leave, and when y'all split, however y'all split, whether you initiate it or he initiates it, likely it'd have to be you, right? Because, that they stick around no matter how bad it gets, because they see themselves as being in control. So it'll end when they're good and ready. You know what I mean? But so until you initiate the split, he's just taking in more and more of you. He's just absorbing you, you know, and he's just an energy vampire that's taking in all your traits and characteristics and has you thinking y'all are real, you know, soulmates. So when he leaves, he has you thinking, and no matter how y'all split, once he's gone, he's got you thinking, and the situation has you thinking, and the aftermath has you thinking that he has taken parts of you and you've just got holes in you. You know what I mean? Just holes. And that's not true. The reason women think that is because they're taught that their life isn't complete unless they're taking care of a man. And it's been that way a long time. That's starting to go away. I'm happy to say that it looks like it's starting to finally go away. Because I don't think these youngins are putting up with it. Which is refreshing and delightful. So, but he can't take parts of you with him. He can't. That's impossible. I'm going to tell you why. It's because you're the divine feminine and you're at the center of the fucking universe. No one can take parts of you. You're at the center of the universe. These plebes are here for you, are here to play their part in your life. You know what I'm saying? If you are interested in that kind of a mindset, I invite you to step into the dark feminine with me. And I have the self-paced course, the membership, and then also if you want to go deep, I got the 12-week program. And we can go one-on-one and turn your life around with that. Because you got to be ready for that, though. That's a whole other level. So that if you're past your fears and stuff like that, and you've really conquered yourself a bit, and you've made some progress, stepping into the dark feminine is for you, and you can check that on my website. So you have to realize that what you've been taught about men and having a partner and things like that, and the way y'all are supposed to bond and become one and shit like that, like you can do that, but somebody who couldn't do that with you and couldn't do it right is not going to be able to take pieces of you when he goes. Well, no man can take part of you when he leaves. It just feels that way because of the way they control you. But it's not really true. So what you've been taught about your value and how you lose value every time a man touches you and shit like that, that's a bunch of horse shit. That's horse shit. You know, especially a lot of these alt-right guys, they want to, and these like far right guys, they like to compare women to economy and shit like that. Oh, well, a used product is only good for so long, blah, blah. Okay, I'm not some shirt at the goddamn thrift store, so fuck you, number one. But, you know, so, but that kind of brainwashing is so deeply instilled in us, and it's so deeply embedded, that a lot of us really do think, you know, or really do feel, no matter how much we try to fight it, we really do feel that when he goes, that he has taken bits and pieces of us with him, and that you've got to rebuild on, you know, whatever the shreds of you that you have left. And that's not true. It feels that way. He would have you feel that way because that makes him feel powerful when he sees you as being defeated, or especially if he has you thinking you've been defeated. You know, that they love that, but that's not really the case. What you have to start seeing in yourself is that you are the ever-present, everything, all-knowing, all-omnipotent, you know, all of it. You spread across the universe in a vastness that cannot be measured. I'm trying to find the right words for this to express to you what you really are, and your importance and your foreverness that you have in you. There's no walking erection on this planet that can take part of you when he goes. Fuck him. Fuck that guy. The narcissists especially, you know, they're doing that because they have nothing else. They have no foundation. So they have no identity. So they're going to take whatever they can. And they love it when you feel like, you know, there's holes in your life, you know, and in yourself where you've got to figure out what to do with yourself because you like Swiss cheese now. That's not it. But once you can stop and just sit down and ask yourself, okay, so what part of me is really missing? What do I really believe is missing in me? What part of me do I think is not there? And that could be your innocence, or your motivation to live, or do things day to day, your discipline to do things like reach goals you wanted to reach, your self-esteem, your self-love, all those things that you think he took from you. There's no way. He can't take part of your character with him. It makes no sense. So you have to sit down and really ask yourself what it is you think that is gone from you, and ask you how that would even be taken. How would that even be taken? But the reason it feels that way is because he's got you thinking, because of the bonding that he did, the way he did it, has you brainwashed to think that there is no, that there is no way to retrieve all those parts. If you can sit down, close your eyes, and bring your consciousness down into your womb space, and just drop down. Just drop down in there. And like you're going down into a cave, deep down into the earth. And you just drop in there, and you just kind of hang out. If you want it to be air or like ether or whatever, you can see it that way. If you want it to be the amniotic fluid, you can see it that way. The waters of chaos, before the chaos. And when it's all calm, in the very beginning. And you can sit there in that dark space and just wait a little bit. And just let your mind settle. Just let your mind settle. Have your thoughts, let them go, you know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead and let your thoughts be their thoughts. And then let them go. And then just chill in that space down there for a little bit. And wait. Wait inside yourself. And then after a little bit of time goes by, when you're ready, I want you to ask yourself, what am I really? What am I really? Who am I really? Am I this person in this room? Am I this spirit having a human experience? Am I an extension of the divine, trying to figure myself out? Am I all of it? Am I none of it? Once all my characteristics and features are stripped away, what remains? And then, after everything is stripped away and nothing remains, if that's the case, what might I add to that? What could I add to that to become what I want? If I have an ideal version of myself that I might aspire to, what might that look like? And then you start naming off stuff to yourself that you would like to be. And then you ask yourself, how might I go about attaining these features, these characteristics? What would stop me? What would really be in my way, if anything, from becoming what I want to be? And you just ask yourself questions. And then if you want, you can write that stuff down. You know what I'm saying? And just analyze yourself and let yourself explore that. I just improvised that entire thing, so I hope it was good. I just made all of that up. But I was channeling something. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, I hope that works. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm gonna try that myself and see what happens, because that actually sounded pretty damn good. So maybe I should write that down. But what I want you to understand is that you are eternal and you go on forever, whether or not there's some man somewhere with some damn mental diagnosis that's never going to get treated, who is doing nothing but leaving chaos in his wake. You know, you're going to go on forever. He's going to go on forever too, because he's part of the divine, blah, blah, blah. But you are too. Only difference is you're actually going to grow. You're not stuck in stagnation in a vat of your own shit like he is. So, you know, and I'm not trying to be cruel about the guy, but I'm just saying, you know, this is somebody who is torturing, you know, everyone who comes into who crosses his path. I don't feel sorry for him. He's grown. He knows by now what's wrong with him. He knows he's got issues. He's grown. You know, if he doesn't want to act right, that's his problem. So you, on the other hand, are going to acknowledge, accept, and access your divinity, and you're just going to let it happen, and just let your divinity just like explode, and you're just going to be this, you know, display of fireworks. That's you. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can take shit from you. Are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here. What is even that? What is even that? No one can take part of you. Okay? You're not missing shit. Unless he cut your hand off, girl. If it ain't that, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And matter of fact, you know what? You know what might help? I just thought of this. This might help. So maybe someone needs to hear this, because sometimes I get ideas. After he goes, I want you to release old parts of you that you're not willing to hang on to anymore. I'm playing with a key. Don't ask me why. I just so I want you to get rid of old parts that you're hanging on to, and that doesn't matter what it is. If you want to cut your hair, I'm the type that gets my hair cut when I leave somebody. I cut it. I get the Cleopatra cut. I get it every time. I do it the same. I do it every time. When I decide I'm done with somebody, the hair goes every fucking time. It's so funny. But anyway, so you can see the times in my life where I was fed up. Just put it that way. I'm like, get rid of it. But anyway, and hair holds memory as well. Hair is really spiritually powerful. Like, people don't realize that. But anyway, so when you get out of that situation, you can cut your hair. You can get rid of some stuff. You can start buying, you can replace, because you're going to have a void, right? You can plug whatever you want into that void and become the new you. In fact, let's even go so far as to say, if you want to take this another direction, let's take this another direction. If what I've said so far isn't working for you, you can even say, yeah, the narcissist took parts of me. He took all the parts of me that are afraid. He took all the parts of me that were not helping me. He took all the old versions of me that are not going to help me move up to my next level, which requires a new version of me that I'm going to start building right now. He took all the parts of me that hated myself. He took all the parts of me that weren't happy with things. He took all the parts of me that doubted myself. And you could do that instead. You could say that instead. Leave it at that. If you want to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, turn it around. Make this to where you're at the center and everything is just happening around you in your favor. And let it be that. And that's another concept in the dark feminine if you're interested in that kind of a thing. So, because I went over that last night, and that for the membership. But so you could say, you know what? Yeah, he took parts of me. He took all the parts I didn't need anymore. And they're gone now. So now I've got that void in me, and I can replace the self-hating parts, the self-doubting parts, the whatever parts, the hurtful parts, the parts that were hanging, that were keeping me back, the parts that were old versions of me that were created to protect me in survival mode that I no longer need. It would be like I was going to say outliving. It would be like outgrowing a relationship that you no longer need with a friend. I had a friend one time who was like I was really close with her. She was a bit older than me, and she was like a mother figure to me, and I adored her, and I relied on her heavily emotionally for things. Really relied on her emotionally for a few years, and something changed in me after a while, and she had taught me how to be in survival mode, which was something I needed at that time. She had taught me to be in survival mode and to do whatever it took to, just to get $5 and do whatever it took to protect myself. And it was kind of like a fearful kind of a mindset, like not something you want to do your whole life. But she taught me how to do it, and I tapped into that part of myself, that survival mode thing, part of myself. And it worked for a while. I mean, it did. It served its purpose. But there came a time, I'd say around 2020, 2021 maybe, there came a time when I outgrew it somehow. And I don't know how or when exactly. I just knew I outgrew it. And I got to a point where I was like, you know what, I don't need this mindset anymore. I don't need this lifestyle anymore. This isn't helping me anymore. I'm moving on to something else. There's something better. There's a level above this that I'm getting to. And you can't put words to it yet or whatever. It's hard to describe, but you just know that you're growing out of it. And I grew out of that friendship with her, and I didn't talk to her for a long time, like a year or so. And I got back in touch with her one time, and she was real upset that I hadn't spoken to her. And I apologized, and I tried to tell her, I was like, look, just having other things going on. I'm changing, I'm shifting. And she didn't want to hear it. And I loved her dearly, but I just, it was just time to part ways. It was just time. It just was. I don't know how else to put it. So I was parting ways with not just her, but a part of myself that I no longer needed. So I let her go back into the abyss, from whence we all came, right? I let her go back into the abyss, and I'll release her from my life. And and with her, I released that old version of me that no longer was relevant. I just let it go, because I was moving up to a different, sphere of living, and I let it go. And she's mad, she didn't like it, and I was like, look, I'm sorry, that's it. And I just cut ties, and that was the end of it. I didn't talk to her after that. I don't have nothing against her. I still love her. I do. I still love that woman, but I just don't have anything to say, because I grew out of that. So when she wasn't a narcissist. It wasn't that. It was just that was the example I thought of. She don't have narcissistic personality disorder, but just that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, you could use that if you wanted to say that. You could say that, and that will help you grow immensely if you can tell yourself, you know what? Yeah. He took parts of me. He took all the parts of me that I no longer needed, that were holding me back from advancing and ascending and moving up to my next level. He took all that shit with him. You're damn right he did. And he can have it. He can have that version of me. He can have that scared girl. He can have that poor girl. He can have that girl that hated herself. He can have that girl that wasn't sure about everything. He can have that girl that didn't have any friends. He can have that girl that didn't have any confidence. He can have that girl that didn't have any money. Bro, keep her. Keep her. I'm done with her. I shed her. Like a snake shedding skin. I shed her, bro. Have her. Have her. Put her in your trophy case. Fine. Boy, do it. Fucking do it. Fucking do it. Bye. Enjoy. That's your prize. That's all your hard work. La you fucking da. Like, good for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, let him have that version of you. Fine. You know what I'm saying? And let her go. And just let her go. And now you could say that you have voids in you. You can say you have holes in you. If you want to say that, if that's what it is, that's okay to say what it is. It's okay to say what it is. I have holes in me. Okay, all right, fine, you got holes in you. How are you going to fill those holes? You can fill those holes with anything you want. Any fucking thing you want. Whatever you want. Step into the feminine, okay? Step into the divine feminine. Step into the creative power that is, which it is, obviously. And create and program and refine and polish whatever you want and put that into your holes. Put that in there. It's like clay. Just push it in. New parts of you. New features. New upgrades. Put that shit in there. You start doing a new thing. He took the version of you that was afraid of, he took the version of you that didn't like her weight. So he took that self-hating part of you that didn't like, being overweight or whatever. So you've got that hole in you now. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to put in there? What are you going to put in there? You can do what I do and do belly dance. I swear to God, once you start belly dance, you'll never look back. But that's just my thing, because I don't like exercising. I don't like going to the gym or, doing the cardio videos in my room or whatever. I can't stand that shit. Oh my God, I can't stand that, because it's not creative, and I can't express myself with that. So I hate like just regular workouts, but I can dance all fucking day. So that's just what I do. But find something to put in that hole that is going to represent the new you. And so now when you devote 3 to 6 months to yourself, filling in those holes and developing the new you, just like a software developer, tweaking it and fixing all the bugs and fixing all the rough edges and polishing it and refining it and toning it and everything else. And then in 3 to 6 months, your fucking friends or anyone who knows you isn't even going to fucking recognize you, physically or energetically. They won't even recognize you, because you have replaced all those parts of you with something new and better and bigger and brighter and more brilliant. And that's the whole point. Let him have that old girl that's scared. That's his memory of you. That's what he's going to take with him. He's going to be proud of that. Whatever. Let him. Let him. Fine. Bye. He wants to collect old snake skins from everybody he's terrorized. Okay. Okay. Whatever. It's over. It's done. Yeah, I'm done with that part of myself. I'm done with that part of myself. Because this is the shit I went through. Let me tell you something. Bro. That's how I flirt. I try to say babe and I say bro. I'm so dumb. But, like my last doozy was about 6 years ago. And he was... But when I got rid of him, which had to happen in like layers because he fucking wouldn't buckle, but he did finally when I went to the courthouse. So got what I wanted. But so once I got rid of him, and I sat in my room, I got rid of the bed, and I sat in my room. I put my bed back together. Thank you very fucking much. And I had my room like back the way I wanted it. Because he was staying at my family's home in my bedroom. Because he didn't want to go home to his wife that apparently he wasn't divorcing after all. Well, he did eventually. But I'm just saying, at that time. So, I was in my room. And that was the first time I got on Instagram. It was an old account. It's not there anymore. I deleted it. It was the first time I got on Instagram. And I don't remember what my username was. I don't know. But I got on there and I made an account. And I was like, I'm going to do something new. What's it going to be? I'm going to do new shit now. I'm going to do new shit. I was like, I'll get on fucking Instagram like all the cool kids. So I got on Instagram and I made my first post. And I don't remember anything else I put on that account, but I remember that first post because it was such a big deal. And it was a picture of incense in my incense burner. I had set it on the floor. And the room was kind of dim. It was like early in the morning. the sun was on the opposite side of the house, you know, so like the room wasn't bright yet. And it was just that dim, kind of grainy picture of that incense burner on my carpet with the incense going up. And I was sitting there on the floor with my legs crossed, just looking at it. And I took a picture of it. And I posted that. And I said something to the extent of, here's to new beginnings, or here's to the new me, or something like that. Something. You know what I'm saying? And I like dedicated that to myself. And that was a moment where I thought, you know what, I'm going to fill in the parts that he took with new parts. And that's what I did. And the version of me that he has in his trophy case is a version of me that was scared, that was desperate, that was self-hating, that was self-sabotaging, and all those things. And the part of me that was confused, that didn't know anything about love, that didn't know, you know, didn't understand the different types of men, didn't understand that there are men out there that will love me and do love me, you know, for who I am. And to me, my form of love, just for me, it's different for everybody, but just for me, it's acceptance. And there are men in the world who accept me and who will accept me as I meet them and as I have them now. And I don't have any fears with that anymore. I've left all that behind. I'll let him keep that version of me that was scared and all this other shit. He can have her. Bro, keep her. I don't care. I'm done with her. She served her purpose. It's over. Do you see what I mean? So if it helps to look at it that way, you can do that. And I always think that dress form behind me is moving. They can't see it on Instagram. Let me see. I'm making a Tudor gown for the Renaissance Fair in Florence in October, so I always pick like pain in the ass fabric. It's some kind of like satin type stuff, and it's just throw a pain in the ass. But anyway, yeah, I always think, whoops. I can't point to it because I don't know what I'm fucking doing. Yeah, there it is. There it is. So, it's getting there. I'm gonna finish it. I got plenty of time. It's not till October. But anyway, so, sometimes I just think it's moving because I'm fucking crazy. But anyway, so, if that helps to help you realize that you have not lost parts of you because the narcissist left. He wants you to think that because that's his power. And that's not really it. That's a bunch of bullshit. Just let him swim in his own bullshit. Just let him swim in it. It's whatever. It's whatever. It's over with. You know what I mean? So release that part of yourself to him and let him have those old parts. Let him have those old fears. Let him put that in his trophy case and be done with it. Or glass menagerie, whatever the fuck he's got. You know, like whatever. So, and let that be it. Because now you've got this clean slate that you can just program whatever you want to program, and bitch, the rest is history. So, if that helps, you know, think of it that way. But he can't take part of you. You're the divine feminine. No one can take shit. You're there to receive, first of all. We'll get into that later. But, so I'm going to leave it at that for now. I think I've said everything I want to say. And that's it on how to realize that the narcissist cannot take shit from you. Especially not parts of yourself. Because you go on forever and you exist into everything. And don't forget that meditation where I said you drop down into your womb space and ask yourself who you are and stuff like that. I actually am gonna go ahead and start doing meditation. I'm gonna write it down right now for y'all. I'm doing it right now because I've done 2 so far that need to be recorded and like really done. So we're gonna do that. Anyway, that's it. And thanks for sticking around and tuning in. And I hope this was helpful. And as usual, if you miss it in the group or on Instagram, whatever, all this stuff goes in my YouTube. So, and that part's public. The only thing that's private on the YouTube is my How to Stop Attracting Narcissists self-paced course, which is a series of videos I have, and also my memberships, which I keep on YouTube as a private playlist for my memberships. So if you guys want to join that, I'd love to see you in the membership. Like it's real shit. It's good. And I'm also debating, to be honest with you, I'm also debating if I'm gonna go ahead and package them and sell them as like training packages later on, or if I'm just going to keep the memberships going the way they are. I think I'm starting to lean towards just keeping them, because it'd be like an easy way for people to just like work with me without having to do like a full-blown, in-depth thing if they're not ready for that or whatever. So I'm starting to think, I'm changing my mind about it, and I think I want to keep the memberships the way they are and just like have them indefinitely, you know what I'm saying? So I think I'll probably do that. But anyway, that's it for now. If y'all have any questions, you know where to find me, you know what's up. And I'm always available to help out, all that kind of good stuff. So you know where I am. And that's it. So thanks.